No, I have an assault from 2010. I've got an ag assault in 2009. I've got a gun case in 24, so it's not our first rodeo. Ms. Bennett, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked out the agreement where they're offering you 3 days in jail with credit for one. You need to understand that this charge is going to go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. It's going to be there, it's even there after you die. This is important because you ever get pulled over again, officers, all they do is they look at your background, and if they see a lengthy background, it's just not going to go well for you. It doesn't matter if you're falling down, piss-ass drunk. No, the mere smell of alcohol or dope, you will probably be looking at another DWI. What we're doing today, from now on, here in Harris County, you are facing, or in Texas, you're facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up. Do you understand? No more proverbial slaps on the wrist. So if I were you, whatever you're going to do, don't get into a car, because it's a humongous liability that you're in, a risk that you're taking. What Max is asking me to do is to take off around $3,500 worth of fines and fees. The idea is that we all make mistakes, right? But you can't keep making mistakes where you endanger other people's lives. It's not fair. When it's so easy to hit one damn button on your phone, for $30 to $40, you have a car waiting to take you anywhere you want to go in this. Do you understand? I want you to understand one more thing. It's unacceptable the way that you have been treating us here in court. You were ordered to get an interlock. You have not had an interlock since August. It's not.
Judge, she did have it installed. There was
if it's in lockout.
I understand. And there was it's as issue with the money and all that. But yes, sir, we understand.
But you don't wait. If you
communicated with me, I didn't realize there was another option, Judge. And so I'm definitely taking the heat on that. So I came in to see if we could.
I'm not going to let you. You are old enough to know that if you're ordered to have an interlock and it's not functioning, you're going to upset a judge. Do you understand?
Judge, I'm gonna have to speak on that one, okay? Yes. Because I definitely communicate. I said I've been employed my whole life. When this stuff started happening, especially with the stuff with the other situation that happened going on, I let him know that I can no longer afford it. I didn't know there was another option.
And I neither. I told her we need.
Since August, she's been in lockout, Max.
I have not drove. I Ubered everywhere I've been.
It's true.
I have.
And I helped her with that as well.
Yeah. So now I'm self-responsibility for it, and I just don't want you to think that I just deliberately disobeyed an order. I didn't have a choice, and I communicated it with him. I'm taking full responsibility. So for you to tell me that, oh yeah, I am old enough.
If you see, and the lawyer has been notified, and still nothing is coming of it, you got to come to court. When you have an interlock, it's supposed to be operational, and when it's not, that's a bond violation, and it's a continued one.
I understand.
Look, I'm
taking full responsibility.
I'm preparing you for the future.
Yes.
Hopefully there is none, but you can't keep it.
Also, before all of this and the federal thing, she'd never been in trouble before. So this has been like.
No. I have an assault from 2010. I've got an ag assault in 2009. I've got a gun case in 24. So it's not our first rodeo.
Yeah, Judge.
It's not.
Okay.
And just.
She's like really upset about
the idea is we all make mistakes, like I told you, but don't make a mistake. I'm sorry, it's not a mistake. They're actions that you take, and you're old enough to know that actions have consequences, right? Especially when you're dealing with alcohol and a 3,000 to 5,000 pound missile that you're in. You could cause catastrophic injury, and that's what we're trying to prevent.
I understand.
All right. I am going to waive the fines and fees now, but you need to understand, on a second offense, it's a minimum of $6,000 in surcharges and fines and fees if you pick up another DWI. So when people continue to make actions where they endanger other people's lives, it gets extremely expensive, not to mention costly with jail time. You understand? All right.
Miss Bennett appears in court on a driving while intoxicated DWI charge and accepts a plea agreement. The judge explains that this conviction will remain on her record permanently and warns that any future DWI offense will carry much harsher penalties. The judge also addresses her failure to maintain the required ignition interlock device but ultimately agrees to waive her fines and fees. The hearing ends with a 3-day jail sentence and a 90-day driver's license suspension.
The agreement you've worked out is 3 days in jail, credit for the 1 day that you've done. You give up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. So once you accept this agreement today, you can never change your mind. You can't say, well, I didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't know this. Once you plead guilty, it stays like this forever. Do you understand? You still want to do this? How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? I'm going to find you guilty. I will sentence you to it. I'm going to waive your costs, your fines and fees. There is a license suspension that is attached to this. I am going to suspend your license. I'm going to suspend it for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license. Good luck, man. Thanks, folks. Please see the clerk. Good morning, Mr. Kimball.
How you doing?
Pretty good. So I've never met you before. I don't know who you are. All I know is that your lawyer is asking me to, I'm assuming, set him a bond, right? You know, you're wanted from somewhere. I don't know for what. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm going to set you bond. I got to get to know you in the short time that I have you here to see, are you a danger to my community? If we give you a bond, are you going to go back? I have no idea. So let's get to know him. Amy?
Judge, so he's wanted from Guadalupe County, New Mexico, aggravated battery against a household member with a deadly weapon. As the court knows, he's also being held in the 351st for credit and debit card abuse.
No, I had no idea. Say it.
And I believe they also just filed a motion to revoke his probation on fraud, use,
He's on probation too.
Yes, and they're motioning to revoke as well. He also has 2 bond forfeitures that I'm seeing, and then he has quite a bit of history with burglaries and.
My gosh. Whoa. So since 2007, possession of marijuana, possession of a controlled substance, evading arrest, possession of a controlled substance, felon in possession of a weapon, attempted evading arrest or detention, tampering or fabricating evidence, evading arrest and previous conviction, burglary of a building, possession of a controlled substance, burglary of a motor vehicle, evading arrest, credit card abuse, burglary of a motor vehicle, evading credit card abuse, possession with intent to deliver. And 1, 2, 3, 4 more burglary of a motor vehicle, failure to ID, possession of a dangerous drug. You're on probation for a fraud. You pick up a new credit card abuse, and you want me to set you a bond?
I understand. Can I please tell you something? If you don't mind me speaking.
Don't talk about the case.
I'm not talking about no case.
Okay.
I was in here, been held on the case for defending violence in New Mexico, right? And they just got called ATW twice. They did not release me. I was not released. They sent me back to my cell, and since they didn't release me, they ended up putting a credit card abuse on me. Now I don't know, where that falls in or whatever. They just put it on me.
So if I can give you a brief synopsis of the timeline, Judge.
Sure.
So January 15th, he waived extradition for his New Mexico case, which is why we have a fugitive. He also had a Dallas County hold at the same time, which means the Dallas.
Here's another.
True, but Dallas County had 10 days to pick him up. So they did not pick him up in those 10 days. So let's say January.
I know that. I get it.
Let's just say, okay, so they didn't release the whole, they should have released the whole 25th. They didn't. What they did is instead, 3 days later.
Talking the Dallas County hold.
Dallas County hold. So what should have happened is that on the 25th, they released the Dallas County hold, which at that moment, there was no locals or anything pending, and they should have started the timeline for New Mexico to come pick him up. But instead, Dallas did not release the hold until I believe the 29th, because conveniently, on the 28th, the DA's office filed 2B charges on a credit card abuse from a case that they had had since November. So
December. I see here, December 22nd, 2024.
I'm sorry, from December, you're right. So it just seemed like the timeline expired. And I believe Mr. Kimball's just really upset because if it should have worked like it should have worked, then why didn't they release the holding time? Why didn't the DA's office file it? It just seems like they're sort of dragging it along. I understand that he does not have a bond on his felony cases, and they did file the MRP. He has an attorney there who is gonna be requesting to set a bond there. What Mr. Kimball is asking is a bond here, even though, and I said, he's gonna be making the bond there in felony. So let's say his bonds get set in felony and his bond gets set here. He wants to bond out and go to New Mexico, address that case, and then he said he'll be back and forth. He's already got the MRP and the felony credit abuse case here. But he wants to be able to fight them in the free world, and he is willing to go to New Mexico, turn himself in. I've been in contact with his mother. And I guess just because of that lapse in timeline, it's kind of like why we're here, because, in part, if you have anything else to add, I think he just feels kind of screwed by the system on this.
Mr. Kimball appears before the judge requesting a bond. As the hearing begins, the prosecutor outlines his extensive criminal history, including an out-of-state warrant, probation issues, and several prior offenses. His attorney explains the timeline of his custody and argues that delays in the legal process created confusion about his current situation. The hearing focuses on whether he should be released while his cases remain pending.
Is there anything else, Mr. Kimball, that I missed?
Nah, did she send the video to your phone? Oh, all right.
In 2023 alone, Mr. Kimball, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In one of the misdemeanor cases, you have presumably a bond at $5,010, which tells me that you've taken off on that case as well. You're on probation. You had a hold out of Dallas for, what did he have a hold out of Dallas for?
Violation.
Out of Dallas.
You're hopscotching with the states with the criminality,
No,
man.
I got them. Look, I had all the cases together, and they gave me probation in Houston and Dallas. See, that's what you don't know. They dismissed a bunch of them cases has been dismissed, and I've been to trial twice. A bunch of them cases has been expunged on that record right there that you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But they gave me probation in Dallas and Houston. Dallas supposed to transfer my probation to Houston. They did not transfer my probation to Houston. That's how I get a violation in Dallas. I never violated by kissing any new case. The only time I caught a case is when for the New Mexico, say something happened in a family violence 2024. I never even been to New Mexico. The girl wrote a statement on me saying that I violated whatever. I understand. I know I don't supposed to tell you nothing, but I got videos. She's saying everything that she said is a lie. I don't even supposed to be having the case for I wouldn't even supposed to come to jail for that case. She has the videos in her phone. She can show you. She's showing her ID, everything, making the whole statement saying that everything that she said to me in New Mexico is a lie, bro. I'm just dry getting hold for this case.
We really,
I understand it.
it doesn't matter.
Yes, sir. I understand it.
It seems to me,
Yes, sir.
you get out, you pick up a new case. You were out, you just picked up a new credit card abuse 2 weeks ago. December 22nd, maybe 3 weeks ago, you just picked up another case. You're on probation in Houston, you're on probation in Dallas.
Sir.
You got an open case in New Mexico.
Yes, sir.
I can't possibly give you a bond, Mr. Kimball. I think that I need to protect my community. And if I give you a bond, I'm scared that something else is going to happen. I don't want you to pick up a 6th or 7th case, I
ain't pick up a case. I came to jail for a case a year ago for New Mexico. I was already on probation.
Picked up.
No, they just put a case on me while I was in custody. I didn't never get caught for anything. They just put a case on me while I've been in custody right now. This time, waiting on New Mexico and Dallas to come get me. They just put this case on me. They just put this on me.
I want to make sure that there are no more new cases get on you anymore. I'm not going to give you a bond because, Mr. Kimball, you scare me. You do.
I never had an aggravated case. I never had an aggravated case in my life. You see my record. I never had an aggravated case.
I don't see, the only thing I see is
saying everything you're saying. I never had an aggravated case out of Harris County, Dallas, anywhere in Texas, ever. Ever.
I believe you, but it's just way too much baggage, dude. Way too much.
But I'm saying you can't just set a bond on the case. And when I go to court, you know what I'm saying? I talk to my other judge. She give me a bond on them cases or whatever, where I can go handle everything that I need to handle so I can get out and be with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't, so say if they do set the bond when I go to court, because he's gonna give me a court date in like a week or two. I'm gonna go to court. They're gonna set a bond for me. So they set a bond. Now I gotta come back to your courtroom again for you to say, oh well, I'm not gonna give you a bond or whatever. They got 14 days to come get me. When actually I really supposed to already been gone to either Dallas or New Mexico, because they called me ATW twice and they said they was not going to come get me. And we called to New Mexico. New Mexico said they didn't have any knowledge of me even being in jail on their warrant.
Is New Mexico, have they stated that they're gonna come get him?
Our indication at this time is that they want him, Judge.
Okay, they're gonna come get you. You know, the problem is that 14 days is told because you've not made bond on those cases upstairs. Once you do make bond at that point, that will get the 14 days for New Mexico to come get you. But Mr. Kimball, you've got a ton of priors. You're on probation in two different counties.
The same.
You got okay, regardless, it's too much baggage. I'm not gonna give you a bond. You scare me, dude. That's it. Really. You know, sometimes the bill comes due. Now is that time. It's not gonna happen anymore. Okay, thanks.
The judge reviews Mr. Kimball's criminal record and concludes that releasing him on bond would pose too much of a risk to the community. Mr. Kimball insists that some of the charges were unfairly filed and asks for another chance to fight his cases while out of custody. After considering everything presented during the hearing, the judge denies the bond request, stating that his lengthy criminal history leaves the court with no confidence that he should be released. What do you think about this case? Do you agree with the judge's decision? Let us know your opinion in the comments below.